Legs are still quite active, it's not all collapsed down. I'm still activating a little bit, decreasing the amount of weight that's going through here. Yeah, sternum lifting, tummy lifting, and the Tadasana kind of norms that we expect in the upper body. And then halfway up into Urdhva and the rotation in the shoulders and up to our Y shape. You know, and I was saying yesterday, slightly out of shot, that, you know, if you turn your hands like that, you draw your shoulder blades onto your back ribs, you know, that's effectively you in downward dog. You know, similar bend at the hip, maybe a little bit more like that, straight. You know, it's there, but notice in a minute how it's different when we have gravity operating in a different way, and that it becomes a closed system. So this is open to the air, there's no fixed point, it becomes a closed system because my hands are now, yeah, there's a sort of a loop, and you can work in a different way, yeah. And I'll come into downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And take the time to bend and lengthen the hamstrings. So I'm not trying to push my heels down, I'm pushing my heels out of the ball of the foot and pushing, lengthening into the heels, pushing them away from me. And I'm also lifting the front of the thigh onto the thigh bone. Yeah. So, not like that. Like that, front of the thigh onto the thigh bone. I know that some people, need to mention, maybe are hypermobile. It's better for you because you don't really get the signal of when to stop, so you can hyperextend in a way that I can't. So it's probably better for you that you deliberately keep your knees a little bit bent. And we can talk about the arms and downward dog. And come forwards. Long arm chaturanga. And if you're able to, the full pose. Up again. And next week we'll sort of complete that into the upward dog. And we'd like us to do some forward bends before we go into back bends. You've got to get that length through the spine, downward dog. And then step a leg forwards. Now, my leg doesn't go all the way forwards, so I have to get it to there, move out of the way and get it forwards, back foot down, and I'm going to come up into Trikonasana, into triangle. Yeah. Now, straightening this, I'm lifting the hip up to where it needs to be, shoulder up, just a different way in, but you're looking for all of that right action that we know and recognise. Stability through the feet. Up, rotate. So up out of downward dog. Working with the breath. Inhale, attending to all the different parts that have action in them. And exhale, you're visualizing all of those parts softening. So I'm finding this particularly in my inner thigh, down in my knee. Yeah, and I'm just trying to use my exhalation to soften that. Okay, up, and we'll go to the other side. Trikonasana. Oh, it's totally different on that leg. Up. Yeah, we'll not spend long here because that needs to benefit from a downward dog. So, come down to your mats, downward dog. Bend your knees if you need to get the length from the heels of your hands through your sit bones, and then you can start to straighten the legs. If you can keep that. And chaturanga, stay in the long arm if you can. If you're staying here, when you finish, do come down and join us towards the floor. And if you need to, come to the floor come out. Okay, Jenner. No, downward dog. Okay, stay down for Trikonasana, stay low. And I am going to keep my upper body low when I get my feet in position, and then come up, shoulders leading, or trying to bring this hip. That's connected to the tightness in this inner thigh. There we go. Goodness, that's deeper work, coming out like that and coming in, as we've been doing. And I'm going to stay in this for a little while and just use the breath to soften wherever it's feeling tight. For me, that's the inner part of the thigh, lengthening groin sort of to inner knee. Okay, and come back down. Right, downward dog. We are going to do a couple of variations. So often we'll start with wide arm. Hiya bird, good to see you. Join in at any point. Okay. Yeah. This is Nairobi, by the way. So we're going to go in to downward dog. Hands. I'm slightly out of sync here, but half off the mat. So like that on either side, middle finger still on the mat. But that sort of wide apart. Feet as wide as the mat. Little toe to the outside edge. And then, yeah, straighten, push up. And this week I'm still about balance work, so stay with me here. We're starting wide, bent knees. And you can come forwards, but what you're not to do is this sort of ballistic boom, boom, push. You can come out of it and then deliberately and with control go, and a bit of slippage, go back into it. Straighten the legs as you can, but check out for what's going on in the lower back. Does straightening here mean that you bend above the pelvis? Right. So, and then we've got the normal width on the pose. So what I want us to do now is big toes together, and then thumbs together. So, I'm going to be off. Right, hopefully you can see that. I'm going to keep it wide apart, so I am aiming for that. I feel that is probably as good as I'm getting right now. So I'm bringing them in. And then you let your head come through. If this is too much, you stay at the normal width pose. So you're introducing a whole different level of balance. So the same techniques apply. Your shoulder blades are coming onto your back ribs. You can bend your knees to help get your sit bones high and find that straight line between your wrists and your hips. And then slowly begin to straighten the legs without losing it in the lower back. Keep reanimating the shoulders, and I'm rotating sort of the inside edges of the elbows as if they could come round to face forwards. They can't, but that's the movement they're going through. And then down. Right, so excellent for the balance, excellent work for the arms. Obviously risk assess that for yourself. If you're going to go into that position, and you're not strong, you're going to have to be willing to fall or at least wobble and save yourself. If that's too much, just don't go that wide. You can challenge it. You bring your hands in a little. Oh, that's my maximum. I'll work there. Yeah. Okay. So from there, we are going to keep the hand wide apart, but the feet together. And that might have to take it up the mat. And You know, it's kind of, if that's going to be downward dog, you imagine, so this foot is going to lift, yeah, and it's just like, oops, it floats up and we'll have to bend it to go past that. Yeah, I'm still lengthening into the heel. I am resisting the urge to lift that hip. You know, it's a three-legged dog, but it's like it's well behaved. It's not like, you know, extending into the heels on both sides, sorry, and open the backs of the knees, so it maybe needs to be further up there. And I'm trying to keep the knee pointing down and the toes pointing down. Yeah, and downward dog in the upper body. Okay, and then down, and then other side. So as that comes up, you know, the leg that remains can go further into downward dog just because, you know, the weight going through it. Right, intelligence remains in the hips so that they stay where they were in downward dog, and the leg kind of comes up to join the line from the wrists now through the sit bones down to that raised heel. You know, I'm sure I'm probably down here somewhere and feeling like, I feel that that's reasonably straight, but oh, hello Nuala. What a privilege. Nuala never joins us here, doesn't? Right. And then down. Okay. And I've gone past the 10 minutes. And we're going to come down. Lovely work for the arms, the shoulders. If you can do it safely and without niggles or so whatever. Any problems, give me a shout. You can drop it in the comments. If you want to keep it a bit more private, you can drop me an email. One quick shout out. I did ask Gemma if I could ask this. She was wondering, she's enjoying doing the 10-minute challenges, but would maybe like to do something like that in the morning and come back and do some meditation after work, you know, whatever, 5, 10, 15 minutes. Does anybody out there have any recommendations? If so, pop them in the comments, and yeah, we'll just share them between ourselves. I suppose classes are out of the question, but there's apps, and I'm sure there's people that follow on YouTube, etc. Alright, well done everybody, and I'll see you again tomorrow for it'll be the end of week 2. So namaste. Thank you.